All right, I've thought a lot about what I wanted to say. I want to read a few scriptures first. And the first one is in Romans, it's 5 and 8. And it says, "But God commandeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." Then you probably wonder why these, but you will see in a minute. Then in Isaiah 41:10, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness." And then 2 Timothy 1:7. And it says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind."
Amen.
In 1996, I was deployed to Saudi Arabia, and I had been there probably 4 times. I've been there 4 times. I've been to Turkey, but I got to Saudi Arabia, it was different. Always before I had deployed with my unit, but this time I had went just to in support of other units, and so I knew about Saudi Arabia. I knew about their lifestyle, everything about it. The heat was extreme, but I never feared nothing over there. I didn't have any fear. And on June 25th, 1996, at almost about 9:55 p.m., I was sitting waiting to go to work. I was in charge of the 3rd shift at work, and I was sitting waiting for the 2nd shift guys to come and pick us up. And I was sitting on a couch about 3 or 4 feet from a sliding glass door when there was an explosion. And it blew me from one end of the couch to the other end of the couch. And I landed on top of this guy. And when I got up and set up, I'd lost my glasses. I'd lost what I had in my hands. And I looked down, and his leg was cut from right here to his knee. And I could see the bone in there. But he wasn't bleeding. And I could immediately imagine the terrorists coming over. We was on the ground floor, coming over our little balcony and coming in. And I knew that I was going to die. I just felt I was going to die. And I thought to myself, if I die, am I going to go to heaven? And I prayed and I asked God right then, if I'm not right, please make me right. And I wasn't afraid anymore. I wasn't afraid of dying. Let me rephrase that. I was afraid for my family. I knew my wife was strong. I knew that my daughter, even though she was daddy's girl, she would be okay. But I was really worried about my son. And I prayed and asked God to, take care of him. I knew the government was going to take care of my wife and my kids, but that was my fear. And we moved to the inside of the room. We lived in these suites over there. They were called Cobar Towers, and there was, depending on the building, there'd be 3 or 4 suites on a floor. There was 3 suites on each floor in this one that we were in, and each suite had 5 bedrooms, a large living area, and a little kitchen. Marble floors. I mean, they were nice. So we moved to the inside part. They're all concrete, solid concrete. We'd try to drive nails in the wall to hang stuff and couldn't drive a nail through it. But we got in the middle, and when we got in there in the center, in the hallway, I looked down and I was bleeding. And we hadn't been there very long, and someone stuck their head in and hollered for us to get out, to come out. I'm sorry if I keep having to go back, but there was only one female in our shop that worked with us, and she worked for me, and I had given her the night off. And as soon as the bomb went off, I heard her scream. And I didn't have my glasses, and I'm legally blind without my glasses. But I couldn't find her, and so we go out, and I asked the guy, one of the 2 young guys that worked for me came out, and I asked him, I said, I know I'm bleeding because I could feel blood running down. I said, is my head okay? And it's funny now. It wasn't funny then. And he looked at it and he said, yeah, you're fine. And I immediately, he's lying to me. All I can picture is, like there's probably a big shard of glass sticking out that I could hang my hat on, but it was nothing like that. So we get over and we're in the middle. We all push to the center of our little compound, and we're standing there, and one of the young guys that worked for me says, Sergeant Long, you're bleeding. We better take you over here where they're doing triage. So we go over to where there's triage, and there's a picnic table there, and the medic looks at my hand and says, yeah, you're going to need some stitches there, and looks at my head and cleans it up a little bit. And by then I've taken my shirt off and pulled my t-shirt off and put my uniform shirt back on, and I was holding my t-shirt against my head, and I got it to stop bleeding, but she said, let me get stuff and I'll take care of your wounds. And they brought a person up. I don't know if it's male or female, and it was just on a door. The explosion blew the doors right off the hinges. There was probably 75 to 100 buildings in our compound, and there was very few windows that were not busted, shattered. The barber shop and stuff like that was in an underground parking garage, and the mirrors in the barber shop was blown off the walls. And it was a very, very big explosion. But when they brought this person up and set him on the picnic table on this door, blood was running off the end of the table, just like water. And there was sheets and stuff wrapped around their leg, and so I just said, well, I'm not that bad. I'll go. So we're back and we're standing in the middle, and I tell this guy that works for me, I said, Donnie, whatever you do, if you see something, tell me, because I can't see. He said, okay. Well, his first thing was, what's wrong with your eyes? I said, I lost my glasses. So he said, okay, I will. Well, we started hearing gunfire. And this guy comes running from towards where the blast was. Where I had been sitting on the couch was about 250 yards from where the explosion was. And this guy come running and said, everybody get down, take cover. They're coming over the fence. And so I said, Donnie, what are we gonna do? He said, I don't know, let's look around. And so I'm looking around like I could see something, and I turn around and I'm standing here on this asphalt by myself. Everybody had ran. And so, I guess I'll run too. So I took off, and they were building, we had been there since the end of Desert Storm, and they were building a new dining facility, because a lot of our facilities were just temporary stuff, like an old trailer or a trailer that they'd made into a dining facility. And so they was building this state-of-the-art dining facility, and I'm running, and everybody's running right down beside it, the new facility. And I'm running, and I start thinking, keep your hand on me, God, because I know there's a ditch up here. I've been through here in the daytime, and there's a ditch, and if I step in it, I'm going to be hurt. And so I looked down, and just like that, I could see. And there was light enough for me to see. And I saw the ditch, and I jumped over it, and I kept running. And when I came out of this dark alleyway type place, I couldn't see. And so we run, and we stop because there's a fence, and there's probably 200 or 300 of us just piled up against this fence. Like if they were coming over the fence, they had us all, because we were in a corner. And because of running and stuff, my head started bleeding again, and there was a medic or someone, I don't know that they were a medic, but they said, anyone need any assistance? Anyone need any medical help? And this guy standing next to me said, he does, he's bleeding. And I said, listen, if you see anyone from maintenance squadron, let me know, because I can't see. And he said, he's going into shock, he can't see. And I said, I'm not going into shock. I lost my glasses. I finally got it through to him that I'd lost my glasses. But then my supervisor comes by, and he's looking for people from the squadron. So he takes me, and he says, you're hurt. You got to go over here. And so I go over in this area, and it's where all the wounded were. And I don't know if you've been around a lot of death, but I could feel death in the air. And I sat there not very long, and I got up and said, I'm not that bad. I'm not sitting over here. So I go, and I still haven't found this girl that works for me. And so we're all sitting, with the squadron, we're all sitting together, and we're all scared. There is fear. We're in a fenced-in area, and they set a bomb off right outside, so we don't know what kind of perimeter we have over there. So pretty soon, two guys from the shop and this girl come walking up. She wasn't hurt. She wasn't hurt at all. And so we finally get in, and I try to call Cindy to let her know that I am okay, but it was either the first or one night of vacation Bible school, and she was at vacation Bible school. But I had glass. Glass was just packed in this ear, and so when they let us go in this someone else's suite, and so we were in there, and one of the guys from the shop helped me get all the glass out of my ear, and the girl that from the shop, she put some bandages on my hand, and got my head to quit bleeding again, and when we got back, while I was sitting waiting, I thought, you know what, I'd be fine if they just told me I could go home. But I said, back in the room, I got money in my locker. I got a checkbook in my locker. I had gold in my locker that I bought for Cindy and for our daughter Nicole. And I said, I could leave all that. I could leave all my earthly possessions right there. They don't mean nothing to me. And then it hit me, I owed a guy $3. And I didn't have my wallet. I'd lost my wallet. And that's all I could think about. And so when I got back in, they let us go back to our building. They made sure that it was, they checked it, made sure it was structurally sound, that we could get in and clean the glass up. We go in there, and the girl that worked for me, Donnie is the only one that I can really remember the name of. I don't remember the girl's name. But anyway, she went in and she found my glasses, my ID card, my wallet, everything, and she brought it to me. She said, I found these for you, Sergeant Long. And I said, thank you. Well, the other guy that I owed $3 to, he was at work. He was working on second shift. And he went in at 3 o'clock that day, and they got off at about 4:30 or 5 the next day. And so they had a 24 to 26 hour shift. And the first thing he did was he come and found me. He said, you know, there's people here from the base that I'm at. And when I saw the blast from the bomb from work, all I could think about was, man, I hope Dave's okay. And I said, well, all I could think about was that I owed you $3. and he said, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't even talk that to me. He said, $3? That doesn't mean nothing to me. He said, your friendship has been more than that.
Amen.
Well, as I was to the point where I couldn't sleep over there. I worked 11 to 7. I'd go in at 10 to 10:30 and get a good turnover, and then I would usually be there till about 8, giving a turnover. But I couldn't sleep there. I would carry my pillow with me to work, and if we had work, I'd go work. If we didn't, I'd lay down on the couch and go to sleep. But it didn't all end there. I came home. On the way home, we had an incident on our flight home. We flew a commercial airliner would land, would bring a rotation over and take us back. And there's no alcohol in the country of Saudi Arabia, or there's not supposed to be. But on these flights, the guys, once we got out of Saudi airspace, they could drink. Well, we got out, I had a ticket home, and then they called us all over to the ticket office, and they took all of our tickets and rescheduled our flights because they said there's been an incident and we got to change everything. And the incident was they found at the end of the runway there in Dhahran, they found some RPGs that were buried, covered up, and some shoulder launch missiles. And they believed that they were to try to take down our one of the rotators. And so when we took off, the airplane landed, they offloaded the people, they unloaded us, they put enough fuel in it to get us out of the airspace, and when we came off the end of the runway, we were straight up. And we landed in Germany. A pilot off the AWACS airplane, he went and he bought a lot of whiskey, and him and his crew started drinking it. He got real drunk, and he caused a lot of problems on the flight. And when next time we landed, they had to come on, and SPs come on and arrested him. And when our troop commander got back on the plane, he said, "Listen, there will be no more alcohol served. We've been through a lot. We don't need to go through no more." So when we got back to the States and everything, I thought it'd all be good there, but it wasn't. I had a deep fear, and I had it for several years. We came back to Missouri to visit my mom and dad right after that, and I went to go outside one night, and my dad asked me to roll his windows up and lock his car, and I got out on the front porch, and I couldn't go no farther. I could feel that there was people watching me, ready to attack. So I went back in, and my dad said, "That was fast," and I said, "Well, I couldn't do it. I was scared." And he said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And from then until my dad, right at the last, before my dad died, and he wasn't really himself anymore. But up till then, anytime me and him were around and I went to go outside at night, he was right beside me. And I said, "Well, I'm okay now. I can." He said, I need a little air. Or he'd say something and he'd go on out with me. But I went, after I retired, I went to work at this place, and I worked nights, and when I'd get off work, I'd have to wait for someone else that was going to the parking lot. And a lot of times the other guys that worked in the area I did, they'd be working over, and I'd say, "Well, come out to the car, let me show you something." And I always had something to show them, so they'd walk out to the car with me. And when I got in the car, it was 90 to nothing going home. I was talking to my dad one time, and he quoted that last scripture to me: "God has not given us a spirit of fear." And he prayed with me, and I don't have that fear. I don't have, I can say I don't have any fear, really. I don't. And I was afraid that I was going to die, and there was going to be no one to look over my family. But a long time ago, God sent his son to die for all of us. And if I'm gone tomorrow, I know God's going to take care of my family. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to be afraid about it. I don't know why, but I really felt that, I really felt urged to give this testimony today. That, we're not, it doesn't mean that I don't never get afraid. Satan will try to sneak up on me. And in the night last night, he did. Mm-hmm. And he placed some stuff in my mind that I have put away. Yes. And I had to pray. And I prayed. And I'm good. I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be able to share this with you.
Yes.
And,
awesome. Awesome.
That's all I got.
Awesome.
You gonna lead us in another song?
Sure.